back to the layout, everybody. So it's been a while since I posted a video on the layout and its progress, and the reason I haven't done it much videoing is because there hasn't been much progress made. So I'll show you what I've been working on. Alright, so we're back over here at the Smithville station. I've just been adding some more shrubs along here, along the front end over here, and a little bit back along the back there. Just added a little bit more shrubs, continuing with more shrubs up front here, and that's about all that's been happening over here. Nothing really much, just more shrubs up front and some more in the back over here. On the back face or backdrop here, and that's about it in Smithville. So just plugging away at it. And I think the biggest change in the layout is over here at the Helix. When you come down to the basement, I started putting ballast down. So that's the biggest change. I still have to paint the backdrop. I know I should have done the backdrop first, sanded all these patches, then painted it, but I didn't feel like doing that, so I did some more grass and ballast. So coming around, got a mess down here. So this little red marker here, I just put down so when you're coming down the Helix, you didn't come into this section here, because this is freshly glued. This area here is just freshly glued down. I just glued it down about an hour ago, so it's all fresh and it's wet. So I didn't want any trains coming down, so if my son decides to run down here, I told him that there's a red block over here, so you can't come down this track, but you can still operate on this track back here. And I also put another block down at the other end. Right over here. So if you're coming from this end, you got a nice block there, so you can't make it down the other track. So this is just my way of indicating that the track is being worked on, so don't come into this area. Of course, he's got all his grain cars and mixed freight lined up over here, and then he's got more of his engines up here. And like I said, I'm back here again in Smithville. Nothing's really changed. Nothing's really been worked on. Like I said earlier, and I ran out of the old ballast, so I have to get some more of this. This is the ballast that I'm using for the main line, and this is what I'm using on the sidings, so I have to get more of that. And then this is the other turf that I'm using along the edges here. So what I'm doing is just putting down the ballast, wetting it down with water with a little bit of soap, and then using a 50-50 solution of water and glue, white glue, and then just let it sit for a while. So that's what I've done. Used a 50-50 solution. As you can tell, it's still a little bit wet in some areas. And then this over here is going to be a level crossing. That's why I didn't put any ballast there. And then we're going to paint the backdrop, sand all those patches down, paint it, and then that's about all that's been working on the layout. I've been lazy, just haven't been feel like doing anything. Alright. Oh yeah, the first building is roughed. For Skyway Fertilizer, I still have to put a roof on it, and then put the what do you call it, braces on the side of the building. But it's coming along slowly. And that's about it. That's all that's happening on the layout. Slow progress. Slow progress. Oh, I also made some trees that are drying over here. They're there. You know, spray, hairspray, and then putting on the foliage, and then letting it dry. So we'll be adding those guys to the layout as well, and then slowly continue working on the layout. So like I said, not much happening. Not much happening at all. Summer's coming. Oh yeah. It is Happy Easter to everybody out there. So this is the Easter long weekend. Hope everybody had a good Easter. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. And don't forget to share it. And we'll see you next time.